All right, welcome to our finalist video, our critiques. Although it's more of a reveal, we're revealing our finalists for all the photos taken in 2025. Congrats if you made it this far. I really don't have to undersell or oversell how hard it was to do this. So it's the lightning category, especially the tornado one. I mean, I just like is really, really hard. And I don't know about you guys, but going down the tornado ones and trying to narrow it down, it really is one of those things again, like, you know, our contest is, I saw someone share our contest and this was very cool. They said, I made the finalists of this STORMYS contest, which is basically the Oscars for storm chasing photography. And I was like, that's really cool. So with that also comes the burden of people being mad that they didn't get higher or didn't make it. And so, sorry, this is so hard. The fact that some photos got to the final or to the selections and then didn't, and then now we got the finalists, and there's so many deserving photos, and we're just trying to do our best to find the ones with the most impact and the best overall essence of this contest, basically. So we are going to start with our finalists for Lightning Photograph of the Year. And I mean, I could probably look back at other years, but this display of top 10 is absolutely stunning. So, hey, good job. I think we picked some really, really good images for this. And again, when we have to go pick a winner for next week, I don't really know how to do that. Do you guys?
No.
Yeah. Well, you know, and you said it right. We're looking for the best impact, the best overall, but this is when we get really, really, really picky on the nitty gritty. We're
Yes.
looking at all of the finer details of the technical elements, which that can make or break where you land in an international image competition of this caliber. So in terms of the level of quality and the number of incredible image makers around the world who enter, it doesn't speak to your skills as a photographer that you do or don't make great images. It's that there's so many great images. We have to get really, really picky on little stuff. So,
yeah.
you know, if you didn't make it into the finals, it doesn't mean your images aren't awesome. We just have to get really, really, we're getting out the fine tooth comb, and we're getting out the magnifying glass to look at all the tiny elements that contribute to the success of an image. So, yeah. And it's really hard. It takes
really
hours.
hard. It's like, I think we probably have used this example, or I have in the past, because my wife and I used to be obsessed with Top Chef. But like the final winning dishes, sometimes were like, you had a little too much salt, and that was the reason that they lost. And it was like not even, or there was still, you've got epic chefs cooking for you. That's, the food is awesome, but this one was just a tad salty, so you didn't make it. And that's what it's like right now. So especially when we get to photographer, because that, again, when I was going through them all, this was probably the hardest year I've had trying to get a top five. I thought everybody's images were great. So anyway, let's talk about Lightning. These are fantastic. I don't, you know, this photo right here, number 3, almost, when you look at it in the thumbnail view, almost looks like someone made it up in AI or something, because it's so perfect. The light, the balance, I mean, so, and this photographer, Sean, has this one, and this one in the top 10. So congrats, Sean Parker. Well done, and way to represent Arizona. But what do you guys think about these, like, overall? I still think it's like, this is one of the best collections we've had.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm still have a headache from selecting the images for the finals. So, and as you said, I don't know how to choose a winner for next week. We will have to figure it out, but so many amazing pictures. I don't think it was so close in the previous years like this year. So, yeah. Absolutely amazing work.
I think the range here is kind of wild. Like I love how there's a range of like technically flawless images all the way to things that are not flawless but have incredible impact.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be perfect in every element if you capture something mind-blowing. And I think that's really important to remember. And there's lots of very clear style here. You know, I am almost 100, I'm 100% blind judging these images. I don't know whose are whose at all. Mike knows a few because he's really well connected and he sees everything all the time. I don't know, Dennis, if you know who shoots these images when you're doing your judging. I don't know any of them. So that was the first time I heard a name. But the color and the quality and the composition and the depth, I feel like there's a story in each image here. So congratulations, everyone. They're so beautiful.
Yeah, you know, I will say I'm sure Dennis is probably he'll know some of them because he hangs out in the same kind of circles. This was, I think, the 1 year where I knew the least. Like I was most of it, you know, some of them I knew because like David Baxter won Photographer of the Year. I mean, the guy chased with me leading a tour. Like we're really good friends. So of course I'm gonna know him. And of course I'm gonna know like Brett and stuff like that. But a lot of these images I had, you know, we're getting tagged on social media and Instagram and Twitter. And someone's like, oh, my image made the finalist and they shared it. And I was like, oh, that was you? Like, I didn't know that. Like, great. That's awesome. So I found this year to be the least that I knew who shot anything. And in fact, like other than probably a couple of these, I wouldn't be able to tell you like over half of them who shot what, which I think is, you know, great. Like I wish I knew less because I'm really harsh. Like Brett Wright would tell you the first couple of years he didn't get anywhere. And just because he was like my best friend, he didn't get anywhere and he knows it. So it sometimes helps to not know who people are for sure. You don't want any feelings, but we are very, very, I feel like very ethical in this where we try to, you know, award the images that make it. And I think it's great, Jen, that you don't know anybody. You know them, I'm sure, if you saw them, but you don't know who these are. And that's what's great. So these images, I'm just telling you, I don't understand. I could make an argument that this is the best one of the year because I mean, I have some good streamer photos. This is insane. And they're all fantastic. So congratulations to those who made the finalists for Lightning. We are going to go on to the next category, and we'll go on to our Solar Storm finalists. We'll just bust this one out, which I'm excited about this one personally. I was just telling you guys when we started that this like finalist grouping here is so cool to me. None of them look the same. They all have their own like appeal. And once again, it's just going to make everything difficult to vote for a winner. I mean, we even have one that has no color. So like, this is a great finalist panel here.
Yeah. Thankfully, you know, it's not like we throw them into a pile and then we have to sort them visually. Each image is graded. If you don't know, each image is graded on a series of elements, including, you know, editing and tone and all of these different elements. And composition. Composition and technical elements. And then the numbers that we assign sort the images. So we are surprised sometimes to see where they land in order. Sometimes I'm sad if an image is a little lower than I wanted it to be. It was my favorite, but Dennis's favorite is stronger. So we are surprised sometimes when we see the results too, because we spend so much time focused on each image for what that image is, not in context in the contest. So it's really interesting. I love that there's a black and white image this year. I know we keep talking about that. It's just so different. Number 2 is also just so cool. I love the foreground and background elements. Give it a sense of depth that none of the others quite have. So very, very interesting set this year.
Yeah, absolutely. We have the first one, just a classic shot, I would say, and a very rare shot with the cacti in Arizona. And number 3, I don't know if you guys remember, it was last year with the mirror
Yes.
in the desert. I don't know why, but number 3 reminds me of that image because it's such a different approach.
Yes.
And I love it too. Number 5 is for me in the category classic too, but I love it. And 4 is just completely different. And that's why it's in here too. So
Yeah.
all in all, very different images and strong finalists.
Yeah. There's so many of them here that I could be like, well, this is the winner. I mean, like number 1, like you said, Dennis, is a little bit like a classic, Iceland, Alaska, Northern Lights, but it's such a cool swirl there, which looks like when we get to the tornado category, we forgot to bring it up last time when we got to it, but it looks like an RFD cut with a tornado could come out of that. Some of the photos that we're looking at in the tornado category almost look like that, which is like so cool. It's like perfect for our contest, which is maybe why I voted that one higher than the other 2 that I think were probably submitted by the same person. I like those 2, but there was something really special about that one to me. So, and the other thing I was going to say, because you talked about the judging stuff, we don't, we vote independently, so we don't see what anyone else is doing. And I make sure, I build the spreadsheets. I make sure I go in and vote without even, because Dennis did his over the weekend, stuff like that. I don't look until I'm done. And then I total them up and go, whoa, I didn't expect that. Or I didn't, so super fun. I mean, that's my favorite part is kind of seeing, these 2 agreed with me, which is cool. I'm not going and basing it off of what they think. We kind of come to the same conclusion, which I think is really, really awesome. So, all right. So congratulations to our top 5 for Solar Storm. These are amazing images. We are going to, let's just go to, we'll go to the photojournalism real quick, and then we'll do tornadoes. So photojournalism, again, like these images, I feel like one of the best. I mean, maybe, Jen, the last couple of years, you've been harping on people to get out there and tell stories.
Harping.
You have been in a nice, kind way. You have been pushing, inspiring. That's better than harping. You've been inspiring, people.
Encouraging,
encouraging.
But look at these. Like, they're so good. They're so good. I'm really glad that this is our top 5. I could say something special about each of these images. So I know we haven't really been pulling up individual images and talking about them.
We can.
I feel like we didn't talk about 5 last time. We might have talked about the others. If you've been on a dirt road in front of a tornado, and this is what it feels like.
Yes.
I feel like this really puts you inside that moment. And like, I'm not sure if this photographer is part of that group, if they ran back to turn around and get this shot, or if this is where their vehicle was, but like the dust and the silhouettes of the people and the lights through the dust and the darkness and the light coming through the clear slot and the shape of the there's just so much magical composition and intentionality here. I just love it so much.
The same thing for me. Because I kind of, when, going over the judging, I took a little bit more of a closer look. And we have a few photos like this that were entered where there were people watching a tornado. But this one, like, you see people running out, they're carrying camera gears, and you can kind of get an idea that they're in motion trying to get past the power lines to get a shot. And I think that's part of it. It's like, not only do you see the tornado and the dust and the car lights, but then you see them moving like they're captured in a frame. And very, very cool.
There's like a sense of that urgency that comes across. Yeah.
And what I like is we have 4 shots with tornadoes, and everyone is completely different.
Yeah.
Everyone tells a different story. Yeah. We have the action shots. We have a surreal number 4, like out of a movie or so.
Yep.
And the first one is strong too, but completely different topic. And also, we didn't receive how much was it in this category? It was not so much.
Yeah, like 30 or something. Yeah.
But so many strong shots in there. And the quality is getting higher and higher every year in this category too. And I love to see this.
Yep. No, I agree. I think I'm looking at 2. Like sometimes it's fun to just look at it as a thumbnail, but like number 2 looks almost like a stylized animated. I don't know about animated, but just has this like kind of like a brownish kind of cast to it where it almost looks like it's the cover of a book or a poster or something. Like it's super, it's wonderful. I do want to say it's funny because 4 of them have tornadoes in them. So we don't want to be like, hey, if you want to do good in this, you got to have a tornado and people in it. I urge people to go out and do something like this, but try something else next year. Let's have a lightning bolt in the distance or whatever safely. I don't want to encourage people right next to a bolt, but we need a few of those as well to separate some of the tornado stuff. But these moments with, you know, tornadoes are obviously very impactful, and and because of how impactful a tornado is, that storytelling is really, you know, apparent in there. So these were wonderful, and these were the bulk of the kind of images that were entered. So really, really well done. These are, you know, again, there's a couple here that I would pick as like a top winner, and I don't know which one to go for because they're all fun. So
it's going to be really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't get over the repeating shapes in number 1. Like
I know
the cross right in the background, but then the bodies are making these cross shapes.
Yeah.
Like the guy on the left and the guy in the front, like, I don't know what. It's so cool that even the guy on the right is almost a cross shape. Like there's so much texture, but especially as a thumbnail, you really get that impact.
Yeah. Well, and just the layers, like you said, because like the guy in the front is very kind of clear, but then the people are disappearing as you get further back, and you see them, like that guy pulling his hood close on the right, like you get the idea of what's happening, and hair flying. Like it's
amazing.
It's a great picture. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, we will go to our tornado finalists. Oh, Lordy, this brutality.
Brutality.
It's very, very brutal. This again, like, oh, this looks like the solar storm one, the swirling RFD cut and tornado. That's what I was trying to say. I want to remember it this time, but that's what that Aurora shot reminded me of, and it's kind of interesting how it mimicked this year. So this category again, I don't know. You know, like there's a classic tornado shot that could be the winner, which is unbelievably great. This is the same tornado, which also looks ethereal to me. It doesn't look. It looks so good and so perfect that it must not be real, but it is. And this is just like the biggest, fattest, whitest tornado with like truck in the way, watching it. Like it's so perfect. And then I think it's the same tornado from a different angle with this little, like it's, all of these are amazing. And yeah, anyway, I don't know. We should just punt, and I wish we had enough money. We had award money to just punt and give people all a prize, because it's going to be really, really hard to pick a winner.
This category will be the most difficult to decide this year.
Yeah. This is where we're going to be getting really, really technical to try to differentiate the best from the very best.
Yes.
Small things like editing choices, color banding, cropping decisions. Those are going to be the small things that can, you know, just nudge you ahead of the next best photo.
Well, we were talking about cropping earlier, so let's just, well, first off, this is one of my favorite photos, regardless of what happens. And
impact is incredible.
Impact is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Now, cropping, and I think it's one of those things that we have talked about a lot. This is our 6th year doing this. Most everybody, I remember back when Mike Mezuel was a judge early on, like we talked about cropping a lot. And it's really, I don't know if a lot of people, you kind of take your photo and you edit, and then you don't think like, hey, could I do this? Could I do that? And this is just an example. First off, this photo is fantastic. If you crop it in a smidge to get rid of this power line on the right, it suddenly takes a distracting element off the right side of the screen and brings the tornado a little bit more center.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it makes much of a difference for me for this photo this year, but those are going to be like potential technical things that we're going to be like, well, hey, this was really cool, but maybe if the crop on this one is better than this one, and then that's what's going to, it's the too salty, not salty enough. And that's what we're going to think about. So regardless, this is like a fantastic image in all of these. Like, yeah, there's always a little bit of like, whatever, you could crop up a little more. Like this one, I love it because we got this, what's that called? The ghost train or
the inflow jet.
The inflow jet. You could crop this one up a little bit more as well because you might want to center the tornado a little bit. Mm-hmm. But regardless, it's a fantastic shot, and that is not. That's just something to think about when you're editing and when you're going through these later. Try to think about where the most impactful part of your photo is, what you're trying to draw people's attention to, what can distract if you leave in the, there's a little bit of, we don't want to Photoshop all kinds of stuff out of every image. Like that's my friend Mark, the sports photographer. If you Photoshop out a little piece of trash in the grass, he calls you ethical, like you have no ethics. You have no ethics. But he's a sports photographer. So we're a little different. We want to edit out some things, but you don't want to completely change it. So there's, you can crop, you can get rid of a couple distractions, things like that. So just stuff to think about. I don't, we're bringing it up because it's, we want to also be kind of teaching and helping, but in this regard, like these are like kind of minuscule things to the overall impact of these photos. Dennis, I know you like that cropping is really big for you as well.
Yeah, especially if you are shooting tornadoes or storms. So everybody knows it's not a calm evening in landscape photography or so. If you sometimes you just have seconds to do your shot. And it's so difficult and so technical for something that it's almost impossible to think about every element in just a few seconds. And I know it for myself, if you are editing your shots on the computer later on, the emotions coming back from that day. And you are getting distracted from editing the shot because your emotions are there again. And sometimes I prefer to edit my shots a few weeks after. If I go storm chasing in the US, I never edit my shots while I'm there. I wait till I return back home to Germany and do it there after a month or so. Yeah. It's helping me, but I needed to learn it. I need to learn it in the past. So, and sometimes I begin editing my shots and just leave it there for 1 or 2 days, sleep over it, have a view again. And sometimes I think this is crap. So starting over again and again. Yeah, yes. But it's not always the case. But I want to say that take your time editing your shots. And if you are not 100% happy, just leave it there for an hour, take a walk, get something to eat or so, and return to the computer and go for it. And you will have a different look.
Can't even tell you how many times I've edited a photo and left and come back and went,
yeah,
that was not good. So I'm 100%. I'm 100% with you. So, so congrats. I mean, these photos are insane. So other than like the first year we had the contest where that Minnesota tornado was out of control, like this is probably one of the best set of like top 10 tornadoes, and granted, I think there's like 3 or 4 tornadoes here, like days, like 3 shots from one and maybe 4. These 4 are all the same tornado, but what's really cool is the different angles. And I really, really like how this one is amazing. And this is probably the same thing, maybe close to the same time from a different angle and how completely different they feel. So very, very cool. So congratulations for making our finalists, and voting shall be fun. We're going to go to our photo of the year, and then we'll do photographer and round it out. Photo of the year, such a different category from tornadoes. And I am very excited that sprites made way more of an impact. And the photographer or photographers that took these sprite photos really upped the composition and the lighting and all that to make them stand out, because I haven't taken, I don't even have a really good sprite photo because I'm usually tired and leading tours and I'm like, I can't stay out. I don't want to drive 200 miles and sit in a field and shoot a distant storm. I want to go to bed. So I can't really speak on these, as informed as other people, but I've seen a ton of sprite photos. These are fantastic. And I know Jen was really excited for these, and we talked about it in the last one, especially like number 6 with the tree and the branches mimicking the sprites. So I'm just really happy that sprites kind of made a showing here in our finalists.
Yeah.
Dennis,
Yeah.
Dennis, what do you think of all these images?
I think all of these shots are very, very, very great in my opinion. And what I think it's feels different like the years before. I think the uniqueness of the shots made it this year so far. And yeah, sprite photos, I don't remember if we haven't any good shots of sprites in the last years, for example. But also the storm above the fog. Never seen such shots before. So it's completely different. It's not the classic, typical plain supercell stuff. We also have these in there, but there are so many different approaches to storm photography this year, and I love it. It's a very new perspective, but also the classic shot of the Kit Carson storm is, I love it. The mood, the lighting in this, it's print-worthy, I would say.
Yep.
So yeah, all of these shots are very, very great, and I'm happy that we have a different set of finalists this year.
Yep.
Yes. And historically in this contest, I feel like the storm photo of the year has been like structure photo of the year. And structure is well represented here, but I love that it's not just about structure across the board. And all the structure feels really different. Like the variety is so yummy. I would love to talk about a few photos quickly if we can. I would love to pull up number 2. I know we looked at it last time, but we're talking about composition, and I just think that this composition is so beautiful. This feels painterly. There's depth in the mood and the light, so I really love it for that reason.
Yes.
I also wanted to talk about the crop on 9, because I appreciate that this is a different crop. I don't know if this was a pano or if this was cropped by the photographer, but it's different. And I feel like it gives it it sort of has a Dune-esque quality to it. There's almost an sandworm character like in this thing, and the texture and the leading edge. So I just wanted to mention that because it's so cool.
I freaking love this one, and I agree with you on the crop. Sometimes I think it's probably like a 16:9, or maybe it's a little wider than that, maybe 3:6, but it's more of a cinematic kind of frame, and it really brings you in a little bit cinematically. I don't know, it's fantastic.
100%.
I hope there is a time lapse of this one. I didn't see it.
I hope there's not, because that means so sad. I'm just kidding. I bet there is. So,
and then I would love to lastly talk about number 5.
Okay.
Of course, we love these sprite images, but I'd like to use this as an example, if I may.
Yeah.
It's a spectacular image I could only dream of capturing, to be clear. But
Yes.
if we look at it in terms of crop, there's a lot of information in the center and not a lot of information on the right or the
Yeah.
left. So what if this were to be cropped in a portrait orientation?
Yeah.
I'm so curious to see. I have a feeling that this might really increase, like,
Yeah.
wow. If you if you take all of the information you're looking to communicate visually and fill the frame, it can have such an impact. If you eliminate those two sides of the image, we're not missing anything. We don't lose anything, and our attention is completely enveloped in this incredible scene. So something to think about. You don't always only have to live with the way the image comes out of the camera. You can crop it. A square crop would work here as well. But I really wanted to just take a moment to illustrate that as a potential. Just think about it. If
right.
you will.
You're not, and like you said, you're not losing really much anything on the sides, but you're really gaining a little bit of focus and balance. Like you got this tree that's perfectly lit, and you've got I don't know if that's a star, what that is on the left, but and then the sprites framing, like it looks magical. I mean, it's magical already. Like it's the reason it made the top 10. But that crop could, like, it just is such a beautiful crop. When I look at the smaller, like, thumbnail in the upper left, it really, it looks fantastic. It'd be a great magazine cover this way. And who knows, maybe this photographer cropped it this way and couldn't decide what to enter. Or maybe they're going to watch this and go, that's a great idea, Jen. I'm going to take it.
You know,
or they're going to send us hate mail.
That's okay too. Send it. It's just a thought, you know, but the eye travels around the image and you want to control what that journey looks like. So if you've got a frame and you fill it with information, the eye is going to search to see where it's supposed to go. What's the journey? Where is the eye going? When you concentrate the view, you force the eye deeper into the image. I'm going to look further into that background. I'm going to go from the foreground to the background and around the image instead of looking into all the dead space. So these are just things to think about. I thought it was an excellent example, a stunning image, a magnificent image. And thank you for allowing me the opportunity to just talk about cropping with that photograph. So you're wonderful, whoever you are.
I mean, that's the thing is what Dennis was kind of referring to earlier, like how, you know, this is a little bit different. This person obviously took the time to be here, set up, light the tree. Storm chasing in general sometimes is crazy. You know, we are jumping out, we frame a shot, and then a lightning bolt does something completely different. Well, you don't necessarily want to just go, well, that's where the lightning bolt landed, so that's where it'll stay. It's like this photo that you just, you know, that we just talked about, that sprite could have popped up anywhere in there and it would have changed the balance of the image and maybe require a slightly different crop. And that's what happens with lightning photography and stuff. You have all the structure and then the lightning bolt does something crazy and you're like, well, this is not going to work anymore because now it feels off balance. And so you do, and a lot of time in storm photography, cropping, I think, might be more important than a landscape photographer setting up for a sunset or a sunrise, because they're taking the time to kind of get it right there in camera, and then they get the beautiful sky and they got it. But for us, we have to kind of make something out of what happens in front of us, and we don't always know what that's going to be.
Yeah, a crop can be the thing that just kicks you slightly over the edge. If you're looking for the edge in a competition like this, cropping can be your secret weapon. That's all I'm saying.
Also, the structure thing you said, I'm pretty sure the winner last year was a volcano with upward lightning, no structure. Remember? But you're right. You're right, though. You are right in a lot of ways. Okay, we're going to go to our finalists for Photographer of the Year. And again, like I said, this was a very, very hard category. This is our first one. The level of, you know, I would say in a few years past, if I was down to like 7 or 8, like if I was looking at them, like kind of ranking them, the lower ones would maybe have a lot more issues with maybe out of focus stuff or editing or whatever. Every portfolio was sharp, focused, solid editing, And so then what we have to do, we have to pick the ones that have the most variety, the most impact, and all that stuff, because now we're getting to somewhere where it's like, dang, this is really hard. But back in when we first started this, there was just a few that would rise to the top because of the quality. And now it's like people are learning. And so if you made the top 5 here, congratulations. So hard, I think, this year. So I love this portfolio. I've been talking a lot. So obviously this number 3 was in our finalists for photo of the year as well. And this one, tornado photo of the year. So great work to this person. Just awesome, like editing, composition, like across the board. Whatever thoughts you guys have, please let me know.
Dennis.
What I recognize this year, we have much more portrait format pictures in this overall. And I'm a huge fan of movie posters. So I love the portrait format in some ways. So I like the portrait format in landscape photography very much. So some people say it's not good for some shots, but I love it. And I love to see it in storm photography too. So, and it also helps the variety of a portfolio very much, I think. So, and thanks guys for putting the thoughts into this and get some shots in different styles. So it's a very, very good way to do it.
Agreed. Man, I love this dust. I love this. I feel like I know where this was because I remember missing it because it was down by Midland, Odessa, and there was just the storms were crazy, and we went east because there was a supercell, and I think the outflow boundary pushed to the south, and some other chasers went south, and chasing in the Texas mesquite land is so awful sometimes. And so to find this little road through all that mesquite that gives you this cool center focus to be able to see this, because I would be so annoyed that I have these freaking mesquite trees all over my frame. My one like chasing in South Texas is like I want to leave when I see all those everywhere because they're so frustrating because they're not too tall. They're just tall enough to annoy the crap out of you. But this is just lovely. Looking at the thumb, I love the light at the end of the road and the dust and like just how it channels your vision right down the center. It's wonderful. So great work on this. This portfolio is wonderful.
And I love that since they dropped down, they obscured the horizon with the brush and the road. And sometimes that's powerful in an image. It can really, especially with a haboob. And I also love that 7 and 8 in the thumbnails, you can see the shapes of the skyscape are the same. You have the same boomerang shape sort of on the center to the right. It's so interesting how two images with the similar shapes can be so different and still the same voice. And I don't know how this person did that, but it's really cool looking to me.
That is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations. All right, we'll go to the next one. And another fantastic set with, I would say, maybe a little bit more like vibrant color. Fantastic tornadoes. Dennis, what do you think about this one?
Oh, I wish I had these. So yeah. Especially I like the colors in this one too, in this portfolio, especially in number 1. I think I said it in our talk before in last week. Sometimes you need the luck that the storm is on the right time of the day.
Yes.
I would say this storm would be looking very good 2 hours earlier or so. But if the sun makes it, the lighting is better. There are the same elements in landscape photography. Around sunset, just 30 minutes before or after sunset, storms look so much better. So you need this too. So,
Yeah.
and this is an example too. And yeah, and this storm needs to be in the finalists this year too, especially in Photographer of the Year and so on. It was a highlight of 2025. So yeah, but the variety of this whole portfolio is amazing. The tornado, I love the tornado shots too, and this one is just awesome. Oof. Yeah,
this is so simple.
Yeah, it's like a screw, perfectly shaped. I love it. Yeah, a very, very strong portfolio, and I see new headaches coming for the next day. So
yeah, new headaches.
Wow.
I love this little tint. I love the tinge of orange on the horizon in this one, and it's super cool.
And I like the editing on this one. It's just a bit silhouette vignette on the edges to lead the eye with the road into the storm.
Yep,
it's very well balanced.
And we love 6 because
we do love 6.
Yeah,
we love seeing characters, and that's so especially unique to its area, and it just captures the feeling in a space and time. It's beautiful.
For me, this is like a band photo.
It could be the Texas Longhorns could definitely be a band name too. So that's perfect.
I love it.
Oh, I like this one just for the simplicity of seeing the cloud. This is one of my favorite sights at night, and I just freaking love seeing that glow on the inside of a thunderhead. So great job. Congrats making the top 10. We will go to this one, and Dan, I think I'll let you talk about this one if you'd like.
Yeah. This photographer has really developed a style in editing that I specifically really enjoy. Everything's kind of is very controlled. I feel like it's also very intentional in the edit. And that's one of my favorite things about this category in this competition is it's the hardest category by far and away. It requires so much of the photographers who enter, and it speaks to their commitment and drive across a season just to be able to enter this category. And then also their commitment to quality and editing and consistency. And I think that this photographer has really developed an approach in their editing that is very, again, it's very controlled. Like, we don't have blacks crushed. We don't have overly saturated. We don't have things that are dodged and burned to oblivion. Like, it's very soft, and the way it's communicated, I don't know how else to say it. So I just think, and like a little bit of those muted tones, and it sort of has a bit of that feeling of being in the dusty, central United States during storm season. And the colors do come through and the textures come through, but there's something very, I don't know, very special. And that's such a cool shot. Yeah. I'm curious about cropping options here, but the eye, because it's so wide, my eye goes dead center into the back of the photo. Mm. And that tornado points to that little house, and it makes me wonder if Dorothy is in there. Like, that's a very, very unique photo. I don't think I've seen one quite like it. So overall, I appreciate this portfolio very much. So
agree. I don't really have anything to add because I agree with all that. I just the subtleness of the editing and the balance overall, like, you just can tell it's all from the same person. Mm-hmm. And absolutely wonderful. So, and one of our top shots from the finalists for photo of the year too in here. So, although I don't know if they entered this one or what, but this was awesome. God,
beautiful.
Maybe they did and they didn't make it. I don't know why, but man, what a tough God. All right, we'll go to this one. Another tornado finalist in 3 of these are in our tornado finalists. So well done. This is definitely one, like, if the last portfolio was a little bit more like subtle, restrained editing. This is going to be a little bit, I would say, more intense, dramatic kind of editing, but still in a way, like I don't see a whole lot of, like, looking at the thumbnails and stuff, I don't see like a whole lot of like haloing and weird things that you might see if you edit too harshly. And this one is just, it's just their style. And man, I love it. This one is this, I mean, obviously this storm is just, it's almost like, how would you not take a good photo of it? So, and then this one is so impactful to me. One of the most, I think, impactful photos of the year. And this one, you know, was entered into the tornado photo of the year category. It didn't make it because it was kind of borderline where the tornado is, you know, it's kind of hidden in there. So it's a little bit tougher if you're doing tornado photo of the year. It really needs to highlight the tornado. But in this whole portfolio, I just love it. I love how it's like tucked away there. I love the foreground being kind of clean and the leading lines from this field. And I kind of like how it's lurking in there. So this is fantastic. There feels like that some of these have a certain kind of just style to it, where these all have this kind of maybe it was the way the sky looked. You never know how, you know, things look out there, but it's kind of got this cool, like almost like a filmy quality, like an overlay or something. So wonderful year for this person. Good grief. Really, I mean, so many tornadoes and really great shots. So well done. All right, we will go to our last one. Another spectacular year. And I know who this person is because they were standing next to me, obviously, in the dust storm photo. So at the airport. So I'll let one of you talk about it, but there's so much amazing variety here. It's great.
Dennis.
Yeah, absolutely. The variety is here very, very strong. So dust storm, tornadoes, amazing lightning shots, storm structure, everything you wish for. So what an amazing year. So yeah, especially yeah. One of my favorites here is absolutely the dust storm, I would say, because for me it's so unique. We don't get stuff like this in Europe.
Yeah.
Not in this magnitude, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And especially in an urban environment like the airport. So it's such a huge contrast of both worlds, the nature and human stuff. So yeah, I love it very much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Yeah, and also the technical part in here. So editing and so everything is just well balanced out. The photos are clean, sharp, and yeah, this one is amazing too. And it's just absolutely. Yeah. So and nothing oversaturated, not too much contrast, and they just look natural. So well done.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really interesting the dynamic of having a big monster dust storm with all this human, city and airport and all this stuff. And I was there, and so it's an interesting kind of thing to. I've shot dust storms and stuff in the middle of nowhere, and I like those as well. But there was something about seeing these little airplanes on the runway and this monster wall coming that it's sometimes it's kind of like the tornado photo or kind of like number 2 here, where would I have liked that truck not to have been there? Probably. But I also love the element of seeing like a vehicle stop go, and that's probably a local farmer going, oh boy, is my house down there? Is he's watching? Like it's part of the, the storytelling where, sometimes having that human element is is really, really awesome. That addition, I would say. So fantastic Grand Canyon stuff, man. It always makes me jealous. It's so hard to get stuff there. Well done. Well done. So, all right. Those are our finalists. Congratulations. I think our live show, I think it's next Thursday. I don't know. I hope it is because I might have scheduled something on Wednesday, but I'll change it. But we have to vote and figure it out, and then we'll have a live show to reveal our winners, which is going to be excruciating. I think in a few categories for sure. It's always excruciating, but in a few categories this year can be very, very difficult. And so congratulations. And, once again, man, it's trying to be in the winner of the top three is it's so hard, and there's so many photos that could make it. So we have a lot of work cut out for us, and I just thank everybody who entered this year, because it's a tough year. Economy's tough. Not everyone's got a ton of money. Things are weird. And so for those that entered and wanted to be a part of this, I really appreciate it, because to me, I think we have seen an amazing increase in quality across the board and stunning imagery. And it's just seems like it's getting better and better. And I thank you too for helping me do this. This has been this is such a treat hanging with you. And so next week, your live show, it's going to be should be fun. So good luck. I will get the ballots out, and then we'll have some fun. So